Welcome to another episode of Smithy's Garage. Today what we're just going to do is we're going to basically have a quick look around of this little fella here. Sorry about all the background noise, it's main road outside. But we're going to basically have a bit, pull it out, have a little look around, just show you what was done. Needed God, looking back it was 12 years ago now. And I'll show you the little bits that were done to the car back then. Like I said, it was 12 years. The car sat out in the sun for another 4-5 years, maybe more. So we're going to do that, but first we're going to pull the big Audi in and we're going to get the plastic trims put back on. Because the thing that we're having with the Audi out the back, well, out in the car park, the big black Audi, was we were getting a shudder. And we've diagnosed it down to injectors. So what we're doing, we're getting about 2k, 2 grand on the rev counter, and there's a shudder, and then as soon as you power through it, it stops. The car sat for about 2 years. So what we're going to do, we're just going to get that pulled in, and we'll get a few trim pieces put back on it, because I don't like leaving them lying around the garage, because as you can see, as soon as you start leaving stuff lying around the garage, it starts getting broke. Like this got broke when we were putting plasterboard up. This is out the Astra GE. So that's going to have to be repaired. There's an engine cover for the S3. So we need to get these panels just back on, so just out of harm's way out the garage, because they'll get either trodded on or binned by accident, because I'm throwing that much stuff out when we're in here. Plus there's a lot of traffic in and out here. We've got friends in and out, we've got family, and it can become a circus sometimes. So we'll go out in the car park, pull the big Audi in, and we'll get them panels on, and I'll show you a little bit of that. Right, let's plug it in. Let's see what cords we've got. Obviously it does all this fun dango stuff. Jumps in and out. Alright, the problems that we got here are, so bring it closer. Right. So what we're doing here is making sure that it's connecting through Wi-Fi, because sometimes it doesn't do it. No matter how much you log on, it's just BCDS. Sometimes, see what I mean? Even though it's plugged in and we're on the net and it's logged in on the Wi-Fi. Yeah, look, it's all hooked. So you do about 3 or 4 bloody tests before you can even do anything, and sometimes you got to go back into it. No matter how many arms you've configured it, it can be an absolute pain. Look how long it takes, and it doesn't know, and it does know, and it doesn't know. Oh, that adapter is plugged in nice and tight. Disconnect. Automatically connect. Connect. Look how long it takes to connect to something. It's just ridiculous. I think the one thing that this is good with is the lead. And sometimes that can be temperamental. Unable to connect to this network. So we're testing it. Oh, look at that. It's come to life. Right. What I want to do here. We had a problem with engine mounts. These have got active engine mounts on them. Yeah, like I said, there's 2 transmission valves. That route. We've got an engine mount, transmission valve. I might as well just replace all 4. Because there's 2 on the front and 2 on the back. 2 on the back are active on the gearbox. It stops shudder and shake and make it as comfortable as possible, but inexpensive as possible. Most expensive as possible, should I say. What should we do about it? Right, we're going to replace all them. But I'm trying to get hold of a guy that's got a set of injectors on the line. Now he's saying it's been pulled out a fully working, healthy engine. But when you ask him are they in good quality condition or anything, he's not answering. So, you know, these are the get out clauses they use out the word stuff, and it's a pain in the backside. But yeah, this really needs all of that. So what we're going to do now is get the car up in the air and get all these plastics put back on so I don't lose them, because like I've always kept everything with this car. I've had it from being a baba. So yeah, we'll get the car up in the air and we'll go from there. I'll shove this one over and then I'll pull the Renault out. We'll have a bit of a mooch around the Renault now. I'll show you the little bits that we done back in the day. It needs a lot of work now. The car sat out literally in the sun, so it got damaged. There's been bits pulled off it and all, but we're gonna recommission it because I want to get to a couple of events. The car's only 600 kilograms, but anyway, we'll get to that. We'll get this car out and we'll go from there. Alright, getting onto the Renault. As you can see, this car was 12 years ago now. We put Astra GE clocks in. We didn't refine anything. This car was literally just built for a purpose. Getting off the mark acceleration, which it achieved. But I think we're going to put this car in showroom condition now. So we're going to get a lot of people working on it over time. Like I said, there's a boost gauge missing there, and that's GE clocks I don't think are hooked up no more. We need to go through the electrics. The pan on the back needs putting in. So we're just going to go through it all over time. I'm leaving these RX-8 seats in because they do a job with the loop seat belts, as you can see, with the 4-point harness. So we've got the roll cage in. There's little daft things that need doing, like the clutch. The clutch had went on at the hydraulics. We took it out on a track. This was 12 years ago before my accident. We took it out on a track and we ripped the sump off it. So it took ages to get a sump for these Tomcat motors. So as you can see, it's got the Honda Rover motor in it. It's out of 820 turbo for test. So at the minute it's running, well, it was running 680 to the back wheels. So as you can see, it's only got a 25 litre tank on it, which is all we need because the car's that light. It literally, you'd think for the amount of power that it was running, it would use tons of fuel, but the car only weighs 600 kilograms. All these here are all Kevlar carbon fibre. The bonnet's carbon fibre and Kevlar, like a mix. The bonnet comes from an Evo. This part of it, but it's obviously it's modelled off GE Turbo. So there's a lot of stuff that we need to get back in. So what I'll do, I'll lift the bonnet off here now, and we'll have a look in there. But this car is mega light. You don't need power steering. You need nothing. It is an absolute weapon when it's going. But because it's been sat there that long, it's had bits took off it. Yada yada yada. So right, I'll take this off. In here. So the radiator itself was built for a Subaru Impreza STI. It's obviously a wider core. We upgraded the fan on it. As you can see by the crazy coolant pipes, it's like wacky racers. To bleed the system, you've got to literally put a hose on there to bleed it through because it goes all the way through at the back. It has got electronic water pump and a manual water pump on it at the same time. And the computer that was controlling it, and you'd think this was 12 years ago. As you can see by the grass on there, the grass was actually growing through the car. So this is the whole reason we had to bring it in the garage. We ain't really got space for it. There's the old engine mount for the old 1.4 turbo. That was absolutely useless. So there's a lot to be getting on with, but this car's gone back to bare shell, I think. K10, K-Tech, strut bar, the electrics need doing. It's not that bad, barring the battery tray, the old battery tray. You can see, we were going to put the battery back in here, but... So, all this is because the car literally just sat. All these, Kevlar, part carbon fibre. So, yeah, as you can see, I think I taxed it for a few more, yeah? I done that, I MOT'd it and I taxed it, yeah, I remember. So it was 2013 up to that I was paying tax on it because the car was outside. And obviously still insurance and stuff like that. So, I'll get round to the wheels. Wheels are Lenzo 18-inch. Tyres on them. 205 40s, no, I think 17s, yeah, 17s, I think, yeah, 17s. So the pattern, the stud pattern on the back is different to the front. As you can see, it's a multi-fitment. So that one's, them studs are actually wider apart than the front ones and all. That's because the engine in the back. We're being Rover. We had to use a Rover subframe, then we had to change the Rover brakes from the back of the Rover onto this so we could use the handbrake and etc. But we were going to put massive pot calipers, but it really doesn't need it. The car's that light, even at speed with these brakes on, it stops on a dime. And we started putting the grills on for the air because it was just literally getting that hot. It was really, really, really hot inside the engine bay. The engine, the core temperature, the engine was staying cool because obviously the water going to the front and coming back. But all the pipe work and stuff, it was like boost pipes and stuff like that were melting basically. Then if you look at all this stuff here, the water was getting behind there. There was a crack. I think the car got pushed on this angle and it pushed the bonding mark apart, so a little bit of water got in there. So what we're going to do is strip it all back and make sure it's perfect. The exhaust, literally, it's just a straight pipe to the turbo, but when we done the emissions on it, the emissions was spot on, so we never had to change it. It was pointless. It's not mega loud, it's just nice. It's probably Focus ST sounding ish, obviously down the cylinder. but it's not mega loud. It really isn't. You can obviously the turbo a lot more when you put your boot into it. But yeah, so this car is going to be an absolute weapon by the time it's done. We're going to do video diary on the stuff getting done. I've got mates help me to do this because I'll never ever do this. I'm in poor health, so I'll never be able to do it, so friends will have to give us a hand, which they've all admitted. So we even done a plate on it, one of one. It was like silly daft stuff that we were doing back then, but like I said, it whooped a lot of cars, Porsches, anything that went up against all the way 130 mile an hour and out could catch it. But we're hoping to get back there. I did actually think about putting a Focus ST motor in because I like the 5-pot sound, but I just don't think there's space in the back. We'd have to do the measurements. There was a toss up between a Focus ST and an Audi TT. Now if we do the Audi TT, we can probably put the engine back in the front and put the Altex system on the back. So put the Aldex on the back, it'd be 4-wheel drive. It'd be nice if we could put the engine in the back and that in the front, but we'd have to re-gear stuff to get it to work. See, we could get the engine part in the back working, but it's running the drive shaft through the car to the front for that. The only other option we could probably do is electric motor. So we might look into that. So over time, we might put electric motor in the front, then put the engine, leave the engine in the back. Because if we run 680 now in the back and put a 200 motor in the front, yep, we're laughing all day long. Like 880 horse in a little car like this that weighs 600 kilograms. It'll be absolutely off its tree. So like I said, we're going to get help with this. We're going to go through it bit by bit and hopefully get it on the road either by, I'd probably say November. If not November, it should be done for at least January, February next year. A lot of it's going to be testing because this car's going to have to be dialed in. There's no doubt about it. It's going to have to be dialed in. Oh, this now is not a fuel cap. It's for the expansion tank for the water. It just made it a little bit more easy because, as you can tell, all of that in the back, it's there's a big lid that sits on top and holds it all down. So yes, it's going to be an absolute weapon. When I first ever done the car, it was running about 300 horse and it was nuts then, but I just kept pushing it. I was like, what can I do to make faster? I done the head studs, copper ringed it, forged it, bigger turbo, bigger injectors. Yeah, the heads got done. So there was a lot of work, but the engine was already out the can. It was quite easy because all you do is just take the subframe bolts out there and just lift the full car up and the engine just comes out. It's basically like one car, but you're not messing on it. Comes out as a whole piece, barring the water pipes and the electrical connector. It just all falls out. It literally is that easy to get it out. And we done that because we wanted it to be easy to work on track. So yeah, and we don't know what to do about the sunroof. I kind of like it because I like the old 80s stuff, 80s and 90s sunroofs. I do like it. And this car's got no air conditioning. Have a look at it from this side. As you can see, all this wiring's exposed now. When it had all trunking and stuff like that on down here, so you can see all that. All that was covered. It was all hidden. There's plugs still left out now. The center console was all fine, but then with the heats and the sun, because it sat in the sun, it just all peeled away. But that sat nav's hooked up to an amplifier. As you can see, we've got the JBLs on the doors. It hasn't got a massive sound system in, but it's just nice. We wanted something to just go to the track, blitz, use and drive on. And like I said, the dashes all start to crack because the bike sat in the sun, so I'm going to get all that sorted. So we're going to go through it all bit by bit, fix what needs to be fixed and go from there. But yeah, I'm going to get all these painted all blue, I think, like the neon blue, because if you look at this here, I'm wanting all that like a neon blue stripe. But need air vents, that, and we'll get it going. But hopefully I'm wanting this done before the day I die, because it was a fun little car. I started to fall out of love with it. I think I just had it painted, and I took it to Tesco's, because at the time my wife was pregnant with my daughter, and I just had it painted, and it was about 10 o'clock at night when Tesco's was like mega late open, and took it over Tesco's about 10 o'clock at night, and I went in, I come out, and there's a guy sat there, and he went, "Hey bud," he went, "some mums went into your car." I went, "Alright." I said, "I can't see any damage." He went, "No, you won't," he said, "until you come round here." And that was the first thing that got took off, that. And what she'd done, she'd swung the car round. Well, at first, his son had spotted it and went, "Oh, rally car, yada yada yada," and I stood round it for about 10 minutes, looking at it. Remember, these were only like 4 cars in the whole car park. I parked well out the way of everyone. And she jumped the car, spun it round, hit it, realised she hit it, pulled forward, drove off. So I said to the guy, "Have you got a registration plate?" "Nope." Asked Tesco's, call the police. It was pointless, it was just an absolute ball ache. But the funny thing is, she'd seen the car. That's the daft thing about it. She was looking around it and drove into it. So I started to fall out of love. I felt a little bit sick when it happened. So I started track racing it, and it started falling into disrepair even more. So yeah, but having it out reignited something in us, just to hopefully get on the road, and hopefully you lot can see it blossom into something beautiful, and make it a little bit of an icon. Like I said, Ken Block's got that unicorn car, but this on acceleration I think would beat it all day long. It just depends. It's just setting it up and taking them on, so it'd be nice to do that later in time. But then I would have to ship the freaking car to the US, because I very much doubt he'd come to me. So yeah, let's turn it into something exciting, make a bit of content out of it, have a bit of laughter, and just blitz as many as we can with it, and just turn it into that all shining icon, because it does deserve it. It really does. It's a beautiful car when it's done. It's a little weapon. Mind you, of the 6R4, the rally cars, and it's mistaken sometimes for it, because the front just doesn't look like a R5 turbo, and neither does the wide kit on it. R5 turbos are skinny cars, everyone knows, but this has obviously got the wing, the bumpers, the diffuser underneath, the full lot, side skirts. It just needs a mega tidy up. So I think I'm gonna have to send it out to have bits done on it, because you never ever do it in this garage. It's a big enough garage, but it's not big enough to take on the task of this. And this is the thing, when you're doing cars at home, it's a mammoth clean up operation after it. So what I'm going to do is just strip it down. The wheels are fine, unmarked, they were brand new when I got them. I might do centres gold, I don't know, but we'll go from there. I'll let you choose what we need to do with it. But yeah, right, I'll catch up with you soon, and we will crack on with this and the rest of the fleet. Like I said, a couple of cars need to go to get the dream car that I always wanted. Release some funds somewhere. So there'll be a few cars coming up, just to get rid of, you know, not make a massive amount of money at it. I just need them cleared so I can get my unicorn car, and obviously free up the funds. So right, over and out, catch you soon. Before we start, please click subscribe and hit the bell icon for more content, and we'll keep you up to date as much as we can with upcoming videos.